relax. Ascending now to the seventh dimension.
Well, namaste and la catch, my family, and welcome to another Team Light Interviews. I am your host, Rion de Rouen, and I am here with the world-famous YssaH. What's up, YssaH? Coming in hot.
Hey there, how are you? So happy to be here.
Listen, me and you, we're all over the place. You're going to be seeing our faces a lot in 2026, so get ready. Sit back and relax. We are here to share some wisdom with you guys. And I'm really excited to be here on all these platforms with you guys and bringing you guys the newest and up-to-date intel that's being dropped. And I know that YssaH has a lot of awesome things to share. I believe this, the title of this video is what? Phase transition, correct? All right. Well, what up to everyone out there? Obviously from coast to coast. I feel like a younger version of George Norrie. Coast to coast. But our coast goes from America to South America, all the way over to South Africa, and then into Asia. So what up, planet Earth? How you guys doing? Without further ado, YssaH, can you please explain to our audience what phase transition means and how it's affecting right now in 2026 with all the news, updates, and intel with our leading man right now, Mr. T, coming back from Davos. What's popping there financially, okay? And what's going on the planet? Without further ado, YssaH, please enlighten us.
Of course, my dear Rion. Okay, so there we go. Well, hi everyone. Very excited to be today here with you. Phase transition can be connected in many ways to what the cosmic split is, meaning by this that we are facing an invitation, a collective invitation to bring high coherence into our reality. And even though we have been talking about this for a while, we have like very huge astronomical events, like planetary alignments that hadn't been seen since 1898. And that allow us to know that through that level of alignment, whether if we are in that spectrum or of coherence, or will fall out into that decoherence that it's mainly imagine, because a lot of things are shifting. Like, for instance, even for those who are in this path, things will be easier. I know that many of you at some point have felt discouraged because things can be so tough when you're trying to do them right. And that was because we were being the decoherence for the simulation matrix. Meaning by this is, imagine that we were bringing new codes to an old structure. So of course we were being that virus, and it was tough. It was, raw. Nevertheless, the more that, for instance, ancient extraterrestrial technologies are coming through, or non-ancient, they are bringing a lot of coherence to the field, reconnecting to that stage on Earth where heaven was on Earth, where the galactics were here and they were interacting with the humans at that moment as, as cosmic races together hanging out in a planet. So that is coming through in terms of frequency. So now the ones that before were in coherence with that simulation matrix, and that was so easy for them, and we're in the peak. Now it's going to be the other way around. And this is very much related to that portion, that dipole cosmic network, that pulse, magnetic pulse reversal, because now we are the coherence and they are the decoherence. This is something super important. Imagine that before we were at the barrier of the hurricane, and now we're stepping up into the eye of the hurricane. So that's a way to explain it.
I love it. Listen, us starseeds out there, Angelix 144, the God Squad. We were born in the storm, ladies and gents, and we're making our way towards the center, not only the center of our own hearts, but the center of the universe itself and the multiverse. There's a lot of things to process right now. The main thing for me is with these different discoveries and how they're being, all these things in South America, especially in Mexico, all of these artifacts coming out that are literally glowing like Iron Man. If you guys haven't seen that, the crystals are, the way they created those devices. My thing is that the timelines, I always stare as one of our timeline coordinators out here on Earth. Hi, nice to meet you. And my fellow starseeds out there, the main thing that I always find is time. What time matrix are we talking about? And I know a lot of these artifacts, YssaH, what is around the carbon dating around when that, that cataclysm took place that buried everything, obviously in about 10 to 30 feet of mud? When are those artifacts from?
Well, we have all ranges, like we have from 8,000 years old all the way to even older than what the Boogosphere has been dated. The Boogosphere has been dated 12,560 years old, and we have artifacts that are carbon-14 tested, and they are the result is that they are way even older, like let's say 20,000 years old. So it's very interesting how the different type of art, you can already see which one is older, which one is not, and also which one is false. So yes. This is very, it's very evident to actually categorize them. And now that you're bringing that, because it's a huge responsibility, it's like not carbon-14. You need to do many tests in order to say, okay, so this is ancient. Besides being in the digging and seeing many specific things, like for instance, if you just dig in a hole and then all of a sudden you start finding them, well, that would be suspicious. But if you need to, break into the soil with respect, honoring the land, bringing in the consciousnesses there, because this is for a higher purpose, which is exposure, bringing truth into light.
Right.
But then, and they have a very specific mission. They have a huge, a highly advanced nexus that it is empowering our own neuronal nexus, our own neuronal network, and connecting us to those technologies and to those intelligences. So it's very different. Like, for instance, you have to dig, and then until you ran into the second floor, which is normally the original floor, and then you start to see that there is concrete, and that concrete is very elegantly put together with other type of geopolymers, not any type of rock, not only volcanic rock with concrete. No, it has very advanced rocks that are non-organic. By means of this, they were created. So then they are even phosphorescent. So even the rocks that are, surrounding the artifacts sometimes are phosphorescent, have that behavior. So,
No, I get it 100% because I keep thinking about, they say the 6 or 7 tribes once Atlantis went down. One of those tribes went to Siberia. One of those tribes went to Egypt. One of those tribes went to South America, right? And probably a couple to Asia. My thing is that with the technology being found, for example, you go to Cusco, right? And you see the original structure that literally the rocks look like they're melted together. You know what I mean? And then you see the other, like the Spanish who came in afterwards, you try to see how they tried to copy it, but it's not the same. Yes. So I think a lot of these objects, the originals, who knows at what depth the originals are at. And I would say anything, prior to 12,000, 500 to 800 years is probably going to be closer to the original tech. There could have been a lot of copies from, older civilizations moving forward. So I think we see that a lot in technology on Earth, especially since this is living on the surface here on Earth. There's always a cataclysm going on somewhere. I mean, it's like we've got volcanoes and magma and polar storm. I mean, it's going on right now. So welcome to living on the Earth, on the surface. Congratulations for all the guys hiding in the Earth. Hi, nice to meet you. We know you're there. You're not fooling anybody. Okay. You're not fooling anybody. I don't, I don't know what you're doing down there, but we're all sitting here going like, we know you're there. We know what Telos is. We know they sealed the door in the 70s with a steel door and a chain. If you've been to Mount Shasta, we do know that there is a huge tunnel network under the surface. And we do know that there's different ET species living in the ground under our feet. I much rather with this, disclosure in this phase transition, everyone wants the 3-eye atlas thing. I love it. And everyone wants our Syrian and Andromedan brothers to show up. I want, I'm just going to call them Hans or Franz. I want that little 7-foot Palladian in the red robe with the golden thrill to come on up from inner earth and go, hi, nice to meet you. I am the one who met Admiral Byrd when he flew. Where are those guys? Where's the guys that met Admiral Byrd? I'm just trying to say, that's kind of like, where's the guy that, came with all that? So that's what I'm trying to say with it is like, where's the interaction specifically with those individuals, the inner earth beings? Where specifically are those types of individuals that would like to communicate and interact, with the public? I think that having the ET thing here is very cool, and I appreciate that, but I also would like to know who our neighbors are living underneath our feet. I feel it's very strange that, for us to have contact. This was really weird on this planet. Let's just say you're in Space Force. You join Space Force when you're 18 years old. You basically sign away your rights as a piece of property to the U.S. government. From there, you go into training, probably 15, 16 years old, honestly. You go away to these things, you get trained, and you're basically a token of the U.S. government or whatever government you may be working for. And then these individuals who have no spiritual training whatsoever besides high-level combat or AI or whatever that may be, there's no spiritual nature. I know they've come out with movies that, for example, The Men That Stare at Goats. And I know they've come out with information specifically with different supernatural abilities that a human has. My thing is this. Do you really think that the smartest people on the planet work for the government? Every single person that is worked for the government now works in the private sector. The most intelligent people on this planet do not work for a government. I'm sorry, they don't. The most gifted, talented, psychically available people on this planet do not work for a government. So my thing is, for a lot of these people who have been making decisions for us, right, say the Majestic 12 till present day, my thing is that with the level of intelligence, why is it that when some of us speak truth and we go on these platforms, why are we shadow banned, right? Why are some of you guys out there who are so gifted and talented, why don't you guys get the, appreciation you deserve? My thing is that for all the real ETs and the higher tiers watching this game, we're watching how the insurrection of the truth has taken place on this planet since definitely we incarnated, and we're taking notes on everyone. So my thing is that I just want the truth to be known, and I think there is a graceful way to do that. And I understand this non-interactionary function of, the first law, right? Non-interaction. That being stated, how many different ET harvester species are here interacting with the planet, trading humans for technology? So what happened to the non-disclosure, the non-intervention clause there? What happened with the Nazis in Antarctica? What happened with the non-disclosure? I'm sitting down here like an accountant. A lot of you guys, we're taking notes. I don't think you guys realize some of us are literally like energetic accountants, and you become the temperature gauge for the entire human race. And you could be by yourself in your town. You could be born an empath. You don't know why you feel the way you do. You don't know why you feel the collective the way you do. You don't know why it's hard for you to go outside and interact with the public. You don't know why maybe your dreams are completely, you're coherent, you're aware, you're monitoring. My thing is that the differentials in the conscious levels and bandwidths on this planet are fantastic, cool. What I'm trying to say is for open contact, I would like to meet the beings from inner Earth. I would like to know the beings that were cohabitating this planet that we've been existing on. And then I would, and I would also then like to go, okay, yes, I would love to meet the Syrians and ask them what happened in India. I would love to, meet the Andromedans. You know what I mean? I would love to meet a lot of different people, right? And get a more of a 360 on what has been going on here and how can we improve in the current present moment. That's just kind of how I feel. I mean, what's most relevant? How you can fix your life and how we can fix this planet right now. Now, you know what I mean? Now, you know what I mean? Like, it's not like, oh, in 5 years, we'll have this wrapped up. I'm like, we've been lied to for 80 years. Do you think it's going to take, give us more time to what exactly, dude?
Not happening.
Yeah, it's not happening. I was just like, as far as our consciousness is concerned, you guys are 80 years late, dude. So how do you feel about that? Some of these people want us to slow roll this shit. I'm like, yo, bro, we're hyperplexing 3 or 4 different dimensions simultaneously and 2 parallel. I'm sitting here going like, you guys realize we all signed agreements to come down here and do a job. And we're kind of bumping into the consciousness on this planet, which, mind you, may not even be human. Okay. There's a lot of beings pretending that they're like you, but they're not. And the unensouled. So not to get too down the rabbit hole, what I'm trying to say is that I just feel like there needs to be some common sense about where we live. There needs to be some common sense with, has anyone talked to the ET species that are living in the bottom of the oceans? I know JP talks about the arcs, right? I'm just trying to say, is there anyone on Earth across the entire planet that actually has a YouTube channel that's not controlled by a narrative, who actually is moving the consciousness and answering questions? I would love to meet them. I would love to shake their hand. I would love to have them at Rise of the Guardians in the future. I would love to know who you are. Because my thing is that this frustration we feel sometimes by things aren't moving, it's because we left the wrong people in charge. We left the wrong species in charge. We never should have had some of these tutelages or all these, violations of our free will. So there's just some things around Earth. I just want you guys to ask some real basic questions, because if we're cohabitating in the same space, I would like to meet the rest of the people that are sharing this space with us in the most calm, casual, loving way I possibly could ever put that out. You know what I mean?
That's happening, and And it's going to happen easily more and more because when we, as I was saying in the very beginning, we're coming from a reality that we were put unconsciously in that decoherence. It's like when you have a bathtub full of water and then you remove the plug, then the water will start creating this vortex, in order to go through the drain. So this is happening all the time. It's how consciousness is generated, through vortex. We see it in our biofield. The difference is that we were in that part, in the external radio, in the external ring of that vortex. So then we were the ones hitting with everything and, like feeling reality like very tough. The thing is that now, as due to all this ET technologies, artifacts that are coming through, and as which 3i Atlas, one of the purposes that they have had is that they have been elevating the frequency on Earth. How? Many of spectral spheres that are still code, not the ones that have been reverse engineered by governments. That's another thing. The difference in between the spectral spheres that are being used by governments and the spectral spheres, most of them that are being used by the galactics, is that the ones that are used by the galactics, most of them are projecting the consciousness of one being. Like we see it in that depicted in ancient artifacts. It's like the genie in a bottle, yet in another way, like with those arcs, those spaceships that you project your consciousness into the arc or share DNA into the your DNA imprinted in the arc itself. And then you're having this back and forward direct connection. So it becomes your vessel. You're like your physical vessel, yet an external one, yet working as one mind. So that's happening with a lot of spectral spheres. So that also 3i Atlas has been sending. Again, most of them are cloaked yet they will become visible very soon. A lot of spheres at the same time visible. So all of this is a preparation for us to start communicating with them at deeper levels, yet in a physical form, which is what Rion was saying. Like going and entering into the inner earth portals, they're waiting for us. I know many places here in Mexico that the elders have already told me that they go underground and they access to inner earth gateways and they can see the beings there, specific beings that are there interacting with him in a very friendly way. So that's already happening, but frequency is the key. So why the elders and why not other people, who is also there? Perhaps they have gone to the very same tunnels and they don't see anything. Again, frequency, which is the same with the cloaking. The cloaking, how it works is that the moment that in order to cloak something, you need to generate the same frequency than outside of your field. So you generate that very same frequency, so then it cancels out that frequency that it's trying to read it, which in this case would be our perception, our eyes. So if they don't want us to see them, they will generate the very same frequency and make themselves invisible. Nevertheless, if we prove that we are rising our frequency, then that's the key, so then they won't even feel like cloaking themselves, although they have a very specific, let's say, itinerary at this moment, which is bringing in silently through those spherical vessels that they are using, some of them plasma beings. Of course, there are many races, but some of them in agreement, like with, for instance, 3i Atlas, they are projecting themselves as in this plasma form, and then filling in the sphere with their own consciousness, and then transmitting codes through this nexus. So perhaps if you want to try it, you can start connecting with the spectral spheres network, and
Yes.
very positive results. There is many people that is now connecting with the Buga sphere. And why? This is something super, super, super important. Okay, so everything is reverse engineered. So
Right.
what are the spectral spheres showing?
Mhm.
At a mesoscale, which is the biological level, molecules carrying in information, and mainly the molecules that are connected to the myocell, the myocells, that
Right.
are the ones that the primordial forms of water, of the molecular structure of water.
Mhm.
So then, at let's say at a quantum level, they are showing the spheres, the informational spheres that construct the tree of life. That's where you get the Christmas tree with the spheres, because they are representing the full harvest in the tree of life that you can access to in those times, encoded chronos and so forth, which is another thing. But then again, you can connect to the information of those spectral spheres at a quantum level that reside where? In the space memory network or in the quantum akasha. So if you start connecting from a state of awareness with those spheres, feeling them being reflected in your molecular structure, seeing them reflected in the quantum akasha, then you can start intertwining them through very specific wormholes that you can be generated through quantum tunneling through your very same particles, you know? And this is one of the things that they are afraid the most, because you can say, but wait a minute, why is this disclosure, why it was so forbidden? Like, what are the implications to this? And the thing is that once we start interacting with those level of consciousnesses, it's not only the wisdom that we remember easily, is that we will be empowering and harnessing our holofractal technology, which is very different from holographic. Holographic is a limited vessel that is encoded, for instance, in a binary code, which is a
I want to just pause right now because you're going quantum and I love you. Three main things. Number one, in the same way that they can now store data on crystals, 7 teraflops of data can be stored on a quartz crystal, and they can now load programs and unload the programs. Level one. Level two is with some of the extraterrestrial species, especially the Palladians and the Arcturians, and I would say the Andromedans as well. The reason why they can do the water programming is because human beings are made up of 75% water. So by raising the frequency of the water, even at the springs from the inner earth, whatever that may be, that water can actually be used as an activation tool. Number one. Number two, if you're highly intelligent, you actually realize what water is, which is memory, planetary memory. You can actually activate human beings by simply moderating and sending the access codes through the water system. That's why when you grid something, especially when I grid around the planet, as soon as my grids hit the water, the fight is on because they know how fast the data transmission is in water.
Yeah.
The third thing I wanted to say is, and I'm sitting here going like, why am I so passionate about this subject? And you know what it really is right now? Like us like stepping up, like I'm hearing myself speak, right? I'm like, hey, after post RV, you know that one woman who was supposed to be the ambassador for the United States to all ET races and she stepped down? She saw too much shit and was like, I quit. I don't know if you guys remember that in the United States. I'm going to go ahead and throw my hat in the ring. You give me my resources, I will run for that position and be one of the civilian ambassadors to all ET species and human races. And when I speak to these beings standing in front of me, I can utilize my third eye and all of my gifts to scan them thoroughly and let Mr. T and the ordinance know, should we trust this being, yes or no? I could do that right now. If I was in Davos, I could go through that crowd like a hot knife through butter. So I'm just trying to say, maybe some of us, maybe you guys out there, maybe that's why we train so hard. I've been training every single day for 16 years straight. I never turned off. I never went back to sleep. all I do is process multidimensional things 24/7, 365 with at least 3 or 4 different species who visit me daily and nightly. So for you guys out there, right, think about what positions how many ambassadors do you need? Well, you definitely need one per country. Let's start right there. You need someone to translate the languages and obviously the culture and the customs per location that you're speaking from. And I'm not trying to go off subject. What I'm trying to awaken you guys to is there's no one coming behind you. There is no government agency that can do a better job than you disclosing the truth from your own soul to the public.
Absolutely.
I just want to be real. Like, go look outside. Everyone's looking around. Well, who's going to lead them out of this place? It could be you. So I just wanted to say that out loud. And with the consciousness and everything coming up, it's disclosure is going to happen inside of each and every one of you. So that's all I'd like to say about that.
Exactly. You know? And this is super. Thank you for bringing this up because it's very much connected to what I was saying. It's different holographic than holofractal. Why? Because if they sell to you just an idea of the simulation aspect, then it's being very limited. If you go holofractal, then you're going to the 9th dimensional technology. Why? Because it's unity consciousness. Holo from holographic and fractal from infinite expressions of one unit. You know, which is how the universe functions. And it's how all of these extraterrestrial technologies work. Pyramids, spectral spheres, dolmens, stone circles. Why? Because they are fractal from source. And due to that, let's say, connection, like natural and inherent connection, they carry a very specific code that they are capable to connect with one another beyond time and space. You know, so this is super important. This is why one of the biggest reasons why they don't want us to connect with those technologies, because automatically we are restoring and igniting our 9th dimensional consciousness, you know. And another thing is that, for instance, when we talk about the fall of Atlantis, what happened? They erased the ether from the picture, the 5th element, the quintessence. They erased it. Why? Because when you are aware of it and you harness it, when you work with it, then you remember. That's it. Why? Because you are reconnecting all those neuronal pathways that were once deactivated through trauma, you know. And this is the other thing. When you start to connect with this 9th dimensional form of consciousness, the holofractal field, geometries, frequency, sound, light, and form, you know, frequency, energy, and vibration, then you are empowering your plasma body. And also, if we talk about psionics, the fact that all this plasma physics, this plasma technology enables this psionics, which mainly work through the 5 elements, through the 5 senses and more, of course, empowering them and unfolding into the other ones. But there is something very important. When we talk about memory, like for instance, we see all these spectral spheres full of memory. We see the water, as Rion was saying, carrying all these codes, you know, primordial codes, our own DNA. You know, when you're talking about memory, which is data, the way that we normally were shown to anchor memory was through emotions. However, what goes first, what goes before the emotion are the senses. How are you experiencing something, an event, and then you will anchor it into your memory. So, and sometimes we think, oh, okay, but if you put your hand on fire, well, it automatically a pleasant experience. Why? Because we were taught so. How many people you see that they are trained to touch fire and don't burn their hand? Why? Because this is a hologram. But again, if you tune into the holofractal reality, you're capable to regenerate your body. I remember one time I had a vision with thought, and or the Houthi.
Toth.
He,
I met him too. He's cool. I mean,
yeah, he was super cool.
I can describe what he looks like. I don't know. You know, go ahead.
No, but you will love this experience. So he was sitting in a table with other beings, and he told me, "Oh, finally, you came. Come on, sit." And then he put a crown on me. That it was not like of a queen, or it was more of a technological device. And then he told me, "Okay, so put your hand on the table." And I was like, "Okay." But Joshua also came, by the way.
Yeah.
Then I put my hand on the table. And then he takes a knife. I think it was a knife. And then he cuts it. And I was like, and then it started regenerating how? Through qubits as a hologram. Extending into the information from the field and regenerating my hand even more powerful. You know?
Right.
And then he told me,
I have to go to the gym to get that effect, YssaH. I mean, I don't have Toth. No, I'm just kidding.
well,
you're getting stronger. I'm like, I'm sore right now. Just go ahead.
Perhaps you can contact Isis and see, what magic she can bring.
Yeah. No, I listen. No pain, no gain. He's like, listen, you're growing stronger. No, go ahead.
No, but like it was just, for instance, you mentioned the gym. I don't know if you have ever done this. I'm quite sure that you have. But just giving the command to your body, okay, for every crunch that I do, it will be equivalent to 100. And I will project right now my energy, my energetic body in an 80% to achieve that result.
Well, just so you know, there's Kung Fu masters that do something similar where when they're training, they visualize what they're doing and their body can't tell the difference. They do train, mind you, but once they have the muscle memory, then they do it with their mind and their spirit. So the one thing about training like that, I agree. But one of the main reasons why I stopped doing, I mean, I still have my, you guys came over to my house. I have one of those like bobs in the backyard, those like punching things. And it's like a dude's face and he's like on a pole or something. Right. And I remember when I first started doing spiritual combat, I marked the bob that I had at that time on all their meridians. So when I was fighting with demons against demons or ghosts, I would hit them directly in their meridian points. You have to be very accurate, right? Yeah, no, I took it to like a whole other level. I was like, and then my second set of arms comes out and I got one of them just beating and I'm over here dealing with this guy. So when you guys get into the multidimensional reality that we're in, hopefully when your third eyes come on, and like I said, people are asking me, hey, I just found your channel. What is this? Hi, I'm Rion de Rouen. Nice to meet you. I'm a member of Team Light. My third eye's been on since 2009. I was one of the first dudes on YouTube ever to make how to astral project video in 2009. It's 2026. Nice to meet you. If you're new. YssaH is like a quantum physicist. She works with the Boogosphere. She has ancient artifacts all around her house, and she's part of teams that actually, find these ancient artifacts and has carbon dated them. And we study diligently every single day that we're alive. That's kind of who we are. We have a big conference coming up, May 8th through the 10th, Rise of the Guardians in Sedona, Arizona. If you'd like to meet us in person, come by our tables and hang out with us. That's where we're going to be. And here's the thing, guys, with what we say and a lot of things that we're doing, there's something in me that's like, why have you guys, listen, let's just pay attention for a second here of how each and every one of you guys are developing at whatever stage you may be at. God has a plan for you. Your highest light, creator, source, great spirit has a plan for you. A lot of the processing and stuff that we have gone through is to kind of realize what we like and what we don't like. A lot of the stuff we have gone through is transmuting trauma maybe not only just in this life, but in past lives for our soul family, our soul families, as we are beautiful energies that came into these bodies and grew them. And now we're here. But what I'm getting to is that I want to inspire you guys, because I think that in the future, it may look a lot different than what you guys are viewing right now in reality, is how our governments work, how our states work in a more independent and sovereign way globally. And there's something that's taking place right now where the old system is falling apart. So I'm just trying to tell you guys, there's something, it's literally falling apart right now, right? So what I'm trying to say is, what new role do you guys see for yourself in the future? Where do you see yourself? What skill sets are you working on? Have you, integrated that shadow stuff? Have you grown up? Have you put the ego in a box and just let it loose in the ocean to float away somewhere else? Whatever that is for you. Okay. What I'm trying to say is that eventually each and every one of you guys is going to grow up spiritually and energetically. And there's a lot of people that are far older than me. Okay. What I'm getting to is, we have a limited time on this earth in these suits. And I know the main card I pulled that was kind of stuck to me was legacy. I pulled it on Saturday for, my card reading. And I want you guys to know something, is that, YssaH, imagine YssaH is your older sister or younger sister. I'm one of your brothers. I only want the best for you guys. And I really want those true talents and hidden gems that you carried here to shine. And I'm just here to tell you, if we really are a group that incarnated, and say there was a million, 144 million of us, right? And there's 7 billion people here, they say, right? This is what I'm trying to get to. Our job was never to assimilate into things that were false. Our job was to wake up, absorb all the data points and all the people and all the interactions on what it is to be human on this planet, and then figure out how we can help one another get out of some of these pitfalls or dead ends that we find ourselves in. And I'm here to hold a lot of beings. As I view myself, you have to understand like how YssaH and I view ourselves. We are the most critical people that you will ever encounter on ourselves.
Yes.
You guys, I have to go outside and talk to upper dimensional beings that look at me like I'm a dumb Orange County blonde just trying to figure it. And I like it. Listen, I've gotten used to it where I'm like, I'm not the smartest person on my stack. And I'm okay with that. But this is what I'm trying to express for everyone staring at my face across this planet. This is the dumbest version of myself. And the dumbest version of myself wants change on this planet. And we see where the holes are in this matrix. So if you believe in higher selves or where we come from, I would love for you to meet my elder selves that are staring at you through these eyeballs. I would love to let you guys know who's actually watching this game, just as your higher selves view your reality through you. So I just don't want everyone to kind of forget why we showed up here, what we're doing here. We're here to raise this planet's vibration and into the most graceful manner we know how. The planet's raising its vibration no matter what we do. We are just riding on the surface, ladies and gents. Okay. What I'm trying to say is that enough with the bullshit, enough with the fear campaigns, enough with the cloak and dagger games from these agencies and the fake 3-letter agencies and why they were created and what they were really doing and the fake Babylonian money system. Enough. Some of our oversouls and some of our higher selves are thousands of years old. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50,000 years old, staring through your biological eyeballs at this kindergarten video game. So when you get there, you'll begin to kind of feel how I feel inside of my body 24/7, 365. It's time for us to take back our birthright, take back our freedom, take back our sovereignty, because each and every one of us deserves better. And that's all I'd like to say. If you, no matter what religion you follow, belief system, we all deserve love, prosperity, and sovereignty on this planet. And for those that wish to take it away from us, we will find you. So I'm just trying to tell you, all the star seeds, we've been recording everything. Every single dream, every single experience, every single souled and unensouled being, every single being with a mask on, pretending to have our best interest in mind, everything. So I just want to be honest. That's why I feel some of us have this different level of responsibility and we don't know where this emotion comes from. We're like, why do I feel this way? Right? I'm like, again, with these people, look, see, we don't want to be attacked anymore. Listen, fasting helps see past the illusion to see the attacks of unseen reality that capture the minds of those who are not aware. Why? Because parasites, when they're in your body, they lower your frequency and they're energetic junction points that can plug in lower frequencies into your suit because you consumed it. There's all kinds of things. So just flip the switch. I'm just trying to say we're all operating at different levels in this game. Gold team, baby, Yeshua, love you. Jesus, come get me. Mary, Sophia, let's get it popping. Okay, for all my Odin sons out there, let's get it popping. For all these guys that are waiting for this generation to figure it out, I love you. There's a higher ordinance coming through, and some of us who are a lot older than we look in these suits, there are other timelines and like galactic alignments of the entire multiverse that are waiting for us to get it together right now. So there's other things leaning on this reality than what you're seeing outside at 30 frames per second with the biological eyeball. I'm just here to remind you, come from your heart and seek balance. I just wanted to say that because I feel like I'm trying to emote what the emotions are we're really feeling. Like, why do you feel this way? You know, like what I'm trying to explain what this is. Like, what is my soul trying to tell me what to do? Why is it so difficult for me to find a purpose? Why don't I feel like I fit in here? It's because maybe you guys were destined for something far greater than you could ever imagine. That's why you don't fit in.
Yes.
You know? So
Yes.
that's how I feel. And I just love everyone across the earth. Listen, I love everybody out there, and no matter what stage you're at, I'm just trying to explain this. Like, what is that feeling you get in the morning and you got to do your shit? Like, what is your soul trying to tell you? That's all I'm trying to reflect right now. Maybe many of you have great destinies and it's about time to get down to work. I'm ready for the starter pistol to go off. I'm ready for our resources. Let's go. That's, I probably one of the main reasons I feel that Mr. T is so pissed about the 2020 coup that happened in the United States, right? And the fake thing that took place, that took 4 years off our timeline and artificially slowed us down. Imagine he's a time jumper. Imagine Barron, you already talked about it in the journal, Barron. We lost 4.5, 5 years to some weird negative things coming in. Can you imagine where we would have been if we didn't lose 5 years and we didn't have COVID and we didn't get this whole bullshit thing? So just think about that and see how many things are trying to affect our timeline. To stay in your heart and be true to what you want to do in this life, but don't lose that spark in your chest. That is who and what that's where you're returning when you're done with this game. So don't look the other way. You are the light in the darkness, and never forget that. Yssa?
Yeah. Thank you for saying that. I couldn't agree more. And throughout everything that you were saying is that when we are shown that time is linear, that we just experience past, present, and future, one isolated from one another, at least in the range where each one is happening, instead of the fact that they are simultaneously coexisting and that we all have is present, the here and now, projected into an infinite field of probabilities, then that idea that we don't have a choice becomes bigger, because it's like, okay, so this is the reality that you are at. But time technology is something that has been misused big time, because people that were in power, and I say were because they are not anymore, they were accessing to the highest timelines for their own benefit. And this is, again, the huge difference that is very much connected to what I have been saying. When you have, for instance, when you talk about coherence, you might say, hey, but there might be a crazy person that thinks that killing is the best thing to do. And that's coherence to him, for him, in his reality it is. And before that was allowed, due to the low frequency, the very slow motion that we were experiencing on Earth, there was a gap to do many shitty things and getting away with it, because everything was so slow. But now, and even though we were feeling like very accelerated, like needing to do things and things and things that were not aligned to our mission, now perhaps you feel like you have many things to do, most of them, all of them aligned to to your mission, because the moment that you occupy your place in this co-creation, being coherent to yourself, synchronicities, alignments, everything will start happening easily, seriously. That's part of the planetary alignment. That's part of the implications of all these astronomical things that are happening through Atlas. All of this reality will be easier to attain if you are coming from a level, a path of awareness. So don't be afraid anymore, because you're not alone. We are here. We are being called to unity, to come into tribes, to come physically together again, create cities of light, communities. That's a huge part in the next stage of human evolution. And for instance, now what I was talking about coherence, the thing is that now coherence, it's also aligned to unity. If you're not taking into consideration the implications that this will be generating on the collective, then you're not in coherence. That's the huge difference. Before, someone could create its own bubble of reality and stay coherent and get away with it. Not anymore. If it's not coherent to the field, then it's incoherent, even if you think that it's coherent to you. This is the huge difference. That is one of the huge differences that is happening right now. So, for instance, now, and also that I have been saying about it, let's move beyond the binary code. Yes, no. Yes. Like black, white. And look, interesting. But here I have the goals. I have the goals.
I'm walking Lemuria, dude. That's the original symbol for Lemuria, ladies and gents. Oh. I mean, I'm like, let's bring it back. Listen, I'm just trying to say we're all getting hypey now. Listen. I'm just like, we're all hyped. We're ready to go. All you guys are on the squad. Everyone in the comments, you guys are all on the squad. We're going to have a team huddle in Sedona in May. And I can't wait to meet you guys, number one. Number two, there's something in me and there's something in you, and you're going to meet your elder self that maybe if you guys, this is something too, when people just find us for the first time. It helps to go back in time on my videos. If you can't understand what I'm saying, go back 3 years, 4 years, 7 years, 10 years, until you find a version of me that you can understand or understand, and then work your way forward. The reason why I say this is there is so much data computation necessary when interacting and awakening your own soul that it takes years of content, years of staying positive, years of change. So just give yourself, take a deep breath, and don't know everyone has gifts, ladies and gents. It could be your heart, your throat chakra's on, right? Your heart, I feel things. Okay. I can feel all the energy around me in my field. Your throat chakra's on. I can hear my higher selves. It starts with boop, beeps in your ear, left and right ear. Okay. Your third eye slowly turning on, your energy hands turning on. Okay. Whatever that may be for you, it takes time and discipline. Right now, I felt the energy last night. They are trying to, especially in the US, with this this polar storm, Russia's under like 30 feet of snow. Whatever this is they're doing, whatever this artificial thing they're doing, it's not going to work. Keep your eyes on Antarctica, keep your eyes on Alaska, where all the HARP facilities are. I feel like I'm taking crazy pills down here. The radar systems, there are this one lady in particular, she's watching all of the cell phone towers and radio towers. She's seeing these things light up and directing hurricanes and directing storms. It's not random. This weather is not random. What's going on right now is not random. This is all programmed. So once you kind of get into that thought form, then you kind of zoom out and go, why would they do that? Why would they want to slow down the adaptation and creation of a country? The easiest way to do that is bury everyone in 20 feet of snow. That'll slow you down. All of a sudden, you're like, I'm going to have a great day Then you're just standing inside with some hot cocoa going, I'm not digging the car out today, honey. You know what I mean? Like, everyone's in a great mood until it's like -20 outside. You're like, well, it looks like we're doing some indoor activities, But I see I can just see the macro of how this thing's playing out. And I get why some people are nervous and scared. Listen, if you've been hypnotized your whole life and you're a part of a specific generation and you don't know what to do, we get that. But that doesn't mean you believe everything that the mainstream media is telling you. That does not mean that you just get hypnotized and believe whatever the mainstream is telling you. It might be time to turn the TV off and go for a walk. Might be time to go outside and, if you can, go to the gym or go swim or whatever that is for you, right? But it's not to fall farther into unconsciousness. That's not going to save you. And that's a dead end. So all of us here, what we're trying to do, everyone in the comments and everyone watching on Earth, is we're just trying to look out for our friends and family. We're trying to send a high vibe across this planet. And we're trying to make sure that our friends don't get hoodwinked or pulled onto a path that their free will or their soul and their heart would choose. Okay. So all these guys have going for them is technology. But when it comes to actual soul evolution, majority of these people, if they even know what that means, are definitely going to have a very hard time proving to their own soul why they don't have to repeat third grade. For the rest of us, right, we're ascending out of this place. So all we have is the limited time right now to help our friends and family see the light. And if you keep your life that simple, hey, I have so many days on this earth to help as many of my brothers and sisters as possible, allow as many of our friends and family to open their hearts and open their minds to the truths that are coming from the inside out, not the projections coming from the outside in, and balancing whatever genome, whatever suit, whatever DNA you chose to incarnate into through your family's bloodline, and try to transmute as much of that as humanly possible. It does not mean you have to live a life of poverty or pain or trauma. What it means is when you have the sovereign consciousness to make a different choice and choose something different, that you act on that feeling, you act on that thought, and you raise your frequency and you join the rest of us at a higher vibe. And that's all it is. You want to say God is good? Yes, God is good, baby. Hey, God is good. Whatever that is for you. Okay. But soul evolution doesn't happen overnight. Okay. So just remember that it all happens in stages. Issa, was there anything else you'd like to share? I mean, look, I don't want to be the guy, I don't want to be the guy on the podium right now. Listen, I'm just trying to say, like, get it. We got this. So get these people out of the way. There's a bullet train coming through from source, and all the NPCs are just going to be sitting there staring at it as we fly by at Mach 2. I don't know how to explain that to you guys. My thing is that get on the train, step on the platform, meet your higher self, open your heart, whatever that connection is to you. Okay. Meet the real you, not the you that's you stare at in the mirror. The real you. Yes. Could be that inner child, right? The inner child that's inside of that suit right now. It could be whatever version. It could be an angelic free, whatever the most positive version of reflection you've ever felt in your entire life, a memory of your mother, whatever that is. Rock that frequency in your heart. The rest of this stuff is a shitty commercial none of us are going to remember in the first place. You think you're going to remember all the weird days of I don't want to be here and all the weird things that took. No, we're not. And I'm sorry, that's going to be left to the lower frequencies and dimensions of this reality. If you choose to, fine. I'm personally recommending for everyone across the planet, get your highlight reel together. Because that's what we're going to be watching together upstairs. Okay, we don't want to see all the even though it's funny, all the funny things that we do in our early 20s. Let's just say we don't need to see that all day long. Look, we all have a huge funny highlight reel, right? But I'm just saying for you guys out there, compartmentalize what you want to focus on. Don't focus on you being happy, you being healthy. You manifesting your dreams, everything else, and taking care of your family, right? Your kids, whatever that is, but those are responsibilities, but let everything else kind of like fade away, dude. So that's all I wanted to say. That's That would be my most simplest thing for anyone just waking up. Let the rest of it fade away, dude. We're not taking those lower frequencies or those projections with us when we go upstairs.
Yeah, that's a very beautiful and easy way to put it. It's all those voices, thoughts, emotions that are coming at you that are feeling off in your body are not yours. It's the result of a very complex matrix trying to influence you for you to feel guilty, feel lost, out of place, out of the best thing is for you to focus in what you want, what you truly choose from the space of the heart. And the way to access to all those answers comes from certainty in your intuition, feeling when something is off, but not like it's being aggressive to yourself. That's very different. Everything that comes aggressive at you, whether if it's your own voice judging yourself, it doesn't need to be aggressive. It can be coming from a space of love. So whatever is showing to you that energy, that's not coming from source. That's something generated to actually create disruption in your field. So every time you listen, that even if you do something that at some point you regret, love is always the key, because you cannot choose something better for someone that you don't like. And if you don't like yourself, you won't likely be doing the best for you. So it's a matter of, forgiveness, your best friend. This is super important. And even because this shift is truly coming from us. And I'm even talking from a scientific point of
Yes.
view. Like, we are creating the technologies. Look at the academics, like coming from the classic school. What are they doing? Nothing, just rejecting truth, and people trying to fight to prove them wrong. No, let's just focus on building something new. Our energy is so sacred that it's super important not to waste it on things that they don't even exist. It's just being created. And the moment that you believe it, you create it, because that's how powerful you are. So
the Lord's Prayer says it perfectly. You know what I mean? Forgive those who, I have to do the whole thing, but I don't want to get, our Father, Lord in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us today our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those that trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For that is the power and the glory forever. Amen. So what I'm trying to say is that in that simple way, you can't truly love anybody until you first love yourself.
Exactly.
You really can't. You truly can't move forward in your life until you kind of man or woman up and go, hey, I made some mistakes. I was an a-hole. I was a jackass. I was inconsiderate. I had certain things I wish I didn't do. I was not as aware or coherent as I am now. That, ladies and gents, is growth. Another thing too, when you get in beef with your parents, we all go through this. Ladies and gents, at some point you have to forgive your parents for whatever that may be, and say, hey, dude, you guys did better than how you were raised, and I appreciate you. You did the best you could with the level of consciousness that you were at in the environment that we were raised in, and thank you so much for doing right in the best way you knew how. I mean, it's a very simple thing, but when you guys really start forgiving yourself, there's an emotional, you're going to feel it. It's not like you're just saying the words. It's like, there's going to be some breathing. You guys might need to go clear. You guys might need to go outside and sit, on the grass next to a tree and ground. What I'm saying, when you really start releasing real things, it's easy to be right here. Listen, most people are right here. My mouth sound. I make my mouth sound. No, take it into your soul, resonate the memory, and go, I forgive you for this. I'm sorry I was so upset for a long duration of time. Same thing with warriors coming back from war. The one thing I'd always say in past lives was, I made a deal with myself that I was going to come home and see my family again. And whatever stepped in front of me, or anything that prevented me from that, right? Because war sucks. I would go through so I could return back into that love. I wish war sucks, ladies and gents, and I wish that we didn't ever have to experience it, dude. When I had to go through my past life stuff of all the wars, and I've been in many on this planet, and how I had to breathe through those memories of every single night loading my friends on ox carts off battlefields. I can't tell you how long I've been a warrior. Okay. And the feeling of that, loading up a best friend you've been in training with someone since you were 6 or 7 years old, and you're loading their body on an ox cart, right? With all the other guys. And it's just like you have this emotion that's so much more real than this kind of like, I don't know, holographic type fuzzy thing we have. I know warriors out there and people that are in the military, they know what I'm talking about. What I'm trying to say is that there has to be a simple truth inside of you. War, I wish we never went to war with one another. I love everybody, and unity is the way. But
Yeah.
there's something in us that you really have to forgive yourself. And it could be a lot of people feel like they're paying karma for past lives, right? Like, oh man, I'm going through this because my past life, I was this, or I did this, right? So what I'm trying to say is forgiving yourself in the present moment and being able to feel that and clear that. You have no idea how powerful that is to the entire multiverse, that you and your whole bloodline would raise their hand and go, I'll process it. For all my ancestors and elders that came before me that did not, I will be the one to do that for my bloodline. You may be that empath in your family. You, high angelic, may be the one that's having to do that to raise the frequency of the entire bloodline. Your mommy, your daddy, your grandpa, your cousins, your uncle, your auntie, whoever they may be attached to your DNA, which we're all attached, right? You have no idea how important it is that you made that choice to do that. Everyone gets to benefit from your strength. So with that, ladies and gents, Issa, that's all I'd like to say. Is there anything else?
I would love to share with you a phrase, and of course with all of you, tribe, beautiful soul tribe.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't think that I have shared this one with you, but once I was hiking to the window of heaven in Mexico, the place where they say that Quetzalcoatl was born. So I was there doing my thing, hiking, and all of a sudden I felt, like the presence of two massive beings. So then I said, like, whoa, what is this? So then I turned both sides, and there were two rocks, and sticking out of those rocks, a twig with a bifid tongue, So I was like, okay, nice to meet you guys. And so I presented myself, like come in peace and love, purpose and so forth. And they told me one of the most impactful phrases in my life so far, because then I understood what the warrior truly is. And it was the strength in a warrior is measured by the temperance of its heart. So we know warriors that are visceral, are, and then they just delete anything that is in front of them, without a state of awareness. Yet the true warrior, it's always heart-centered. So the more that you expand your heart, dealing with whatever you're dealing with, whether if it needs to be like a very imperative no, whether if it's only through voice or action, yet always coming from the heart, because then you won't be emptied. You will be replenished, because that limit is coming from source.
Yeah. All right. With that, ladies and gentlemen, listen, we love you. We're deep. We're saying things. We're using our words. But, when I feel real things, sometimes I know you guys do this too. I make jokes because when I say things, sometimes those memories are flashing through my head. And I would like to think that a lot of my brothers and sisters from the past are reincarnated, and maybe some of you guys out there. And I just know that this time, that in this incarnation and this time that we have together is very special. and very precious. And I'm so happy that I incarnated. You guys are really one of the main reasons to watch my friends and family grow, and to hang out with you guys and meet you guys is really important. And I really appreciate the opportunity. And one of the benefits of me coming here and incarnating in this suit is to hang out with you guys in the physical as well. So I just wanted to say that. Yssa, where can some of our friends and family find you?
At the Rise of the Guardians, Sedona, May, from the 8th to the 10th.
Uh-huh.
If you
That's
have
awesome.
your tickets yet, make sure you get them, because they're selling hot. Like, really.
Yeah, we are selling a lot of tickets. Yes, we are.
Yeah, that's a coherent action. If you really want to gather with your soul tribe, these are very expensive events, and not because I'm here in front of Rion, or because I kind of like him, because I do really like him, but like, it's one of the best conferences ever, like everything. So they can find me there. They can find us there. Also, CLE February, I will be talking about the artifacts from a unified science and spirituality approach. March, the alien event, LA. Then the Rise of the Guardians. We have the Day of Being,
Right.
like, also
Monday, May 11th, with the Fishers hosting that, the Way of Being Foundation. And I know Emily and you have a lot of things planned for that. We're going to discuss later today.
Yes.
A lot of very cool retreat things. And I will also be at Conscious Life LA the end of February. So we'll be out there if you guys want to hang out and see us there as well. So with that, ladies and gents, I love you.
Yun. I'm sorry, Star Knowledge in Yun. But now,
Star Knowledge Union?
In South Dakota. Yes.
Oh, okay. Nice. So, ladies and gents, hug your loved one. Have a good day. Get out into nature. Try to enjoy yourself. And just know that we got this, and we love you guys very, very much. Okay? Till next time. Peace.
Until next time.
Turn off the light. Take a deep breath and relax.
Ascending now to the 7th dimension.